want you to panic.
A blunt message to the European Parliament from Swedish activist Greta Thunberg. The teenager has given the world a wake-up call with her urgent appeal for climate action. The global youth movement she inspired has shifted the climate change debate, forcing it both to the top of the EU's agenda and party campaigning ahead of the bloc's parliamentary elections next week. So what has the EU done so far to tackle the climate crisis? In March, the European Parliament voted to ban single-use plastics, starting in 2021, as part of sweeping legislation against plastic waste that pollutes beaches and oceans. It's agreed a near-total ban on insecticides that have been linked to a dramatic drop in the numbers of wild bees, honeybees, and other pollinators. The EU Parliament is pushing to put cleaner cars on Europe's roads by 2030. And it wants to slash its greenhouse gases by 40% in the next 11 years. Some experts say that's not enough, but right now, it doesn't look like any single member state will be able to meet that target. Reason enough for protesters across Europe to keep pushing for faster climate action in Brussels.
To talk about how these issues are shaping the European election, I'm joined now by Lisa Bodum in the studio. She's a representative for the Greens in the German Parliament. Good day to you. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, Mr. Thomas.
You think that Germany is falling behind other European countries, don't you? Now, Germany is considered by many to be a leader in environmental issues, but you think it's not.
Yeah, those days are gone, unfortunately. And for example, France proposed to us, let's do CO2 neutral in 2050, also 1 week ago, together with other European countries, 8 European countries. But Germany didn't want to, be part of this. So I'm very ashamed as member of parliament. Why don't we join the initiative?
Okay, what happened? Why did Germany fall behind? What went wrong?
Yeah, I think it's a climate of fear, also because of the right populists. So, for example, we have regional elections in autumn this year. So the government is afraid of talking about carbon tax, for example, or about to phasing out coal. But I think we have so many young people on the streets, and they want to have us not fear, but to go forward. So this is what we should do.
Okay, well, what do you think Germany needs to do to get in step then with these other countries you're saying that have the lead in Europe, especially in light of these elections?
Yeah, I think we should do a carbon price together with the other European countries. That would be a good thing.
The carbon tax.
Carbon tax. There are already 12 European countries who do have that, but Germany is still behind. So at the moment, those who want to protect the climate, they pay for the others who pollute the climate. I think it's not just. I want to change this.
Okay, but your critics say that Germany only produces 2% of CO2 emissions globally. Why should it then bear the burden for reducing carbon emissions?
Yeah, I think we're more powerful than that because Germany is a really important country in the European Union. So if Germany would be a pioneer of climate policy, the whole European Union could be a climate of policy, and it's the third biggest emittent of CO2 in the world, the European Union. So together we could really do something.
Okay, so it's all about the European Union, isn't it, when it comes to carbon emissions and a tax? You mentioned populists being a concern in terms of environmental policy. They could poll as high as 35% in these EU elections. That's what some opinion polls are showing. How would that affect climate change policy and environmental policy if there was that type of strong showing for the populists?
First of all, I do hope that many people will not vote for the populists. That's why we have to, tell the people to go to the elections, to vote for an international movement for climate protection and not for a nationalist movement who's against refugees and against free borders and liberal democracy. So that's the first thing we have to do. And yeah, we have to defend our democracy and our values.
Lisa Bodum for us from the Greens in the German Parliament. Thanks so very much for being with us.
Thank you.